Welcome to Newsmax TV's special coverage of tonight's Republican presidential debate. Alongside Miranda Khan at the anchor desk, I'm J.D. Hayworth. 7 candidates on the main stage in North Charleston, South Carolina tonight, with frontrunner Donald Trump front and center.
And with only 3 weeks until the Iowa caucuses, each candidate hoping to make an impression that will carry them on to a win there. And they need it.
And as we watched what happened tonight, the
exciting debate.
It was, and the pre-debate predictions held true.
Right.
There was a situation where there were 2 flashpoints between frontrunner Donald Trump, who's the frontrunner nationally, and Ted Cruz, who arguably is the frontrunner for the Iowa caucuses. And we saw something here in this debate, and as a recovering candidate, recovering politician, a couple of things to keep in mind.
Okay.
Questions are asked in debates, and there are 2 ways to deal with them.
Not answer them?
Well, it's not so much a non-answer, but you have to put in context.
Okay.
Yeah, we could be frank and say it's a non-answer,
Okay.
but what you say is, before we answer that question, we have to take a look at this, or even more important, for example, right out of the gate, Ted Cruz was asked about jobs, but he recalibrated and said, we need to talk about what happened with Iran seizing the 10 U.S. sailors and what his reaction would be as commander-in-chief. Take a look at the way he handled it earlier tonight.
Today, many of us picked up our newspapers, and we were horrified to see the sight of 10 American sailors on their knees with their hands on their heads. In that State of the Union, President Obama didn't so much as mention the 10 sailors that had been captured by Iran. President Obama is preparing to send $100 billion or more to the Ayatollah Khamenei. And I'll tell you, it was heartbreaking. But the good news is the next commander-in-chief is standing on this stage. I give you my word, if I am elected president, no serviceman or servicewoman will be forced to be on their knees, and any nation that captures our fighting men and women will feel the full force and fury of the United States of America.
So, JD, as someone who's been on a debate stage, a recovering politician, how did Ted Cruz do?
Ted Cruz has spent a lifetime preparing for this moment.
Yes. Studying
the law, but prior to that, being actively involved in debate, and of course, as an attorney, arguing cases before the Supreme Court.
He's a master debater.
What we also saw is the situation that exists with reading poll numbers and also with a massive dissatisfaction about Barack Obama as commander-in-chief. Correct me if I'm wrong, but during the State of the Union message, when our sailors were held captive by Iran, there was not a mention.
There wasn't.
And so because national security and sadly national humiliation was ignored by the current commander-in-chief, Ted Cruz was very effective bringing that up because, believe me, all of these candidates are taking a look at polls. They saw it. And the other thing that makes Cruz so effective in that opening statement, when he very magnanimously says the good news is the next commander-in-chief is on this stage, and then if I am elected, he acts with certainty. So we see a very polished performance from Cruz.
Right.
The question becomes, in this year of the anti-politician, Cruz is a very effective politician who has run against the Washington cartel. But is that really what most voters want to see, or do they want the almost instinctive, emotional, but effective reactions of someone like Donald Trump?
And I think that's why we saw the 2 going at it through most of the debate. How did he do responding to Trump's attacks?
Well, again, I think it was almost even Steven.
It's different to attack the president than it is attacking someone standing right next
to
you.
But what Ted Cruz did on the native-born citizenship was incredibly effective, not only with the law, but with debate counterattacks, pointing out that Donald Trump has a Scottish mother. And then, of course, the Donald talking about New York, New York. Speaking of which, Donald Trump, responding to the attack the other day from Nikki Haley, the South Carolina governor, turned that around. Watch him say this. We'll be back to talk more about it right after we take a look at this.
She did say there was anger. And I could say, oh, I'm not angry. I'm very angry because our country is being run horribly. And I will gladly accept the mantle of anger. Our military is a disaster. Our health care is a horror show. Obamacare, we're going to repeal it and replace it. We have no borders. Our vets are being treated horribly. Illegal immigration is beyond belief. Our country is being run by incompetent people. And yes, I am angry. And I won't be angry when we fix it. But until we fix it, I'm very